Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2014 Kia Rondo. It was here a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. Customer bought it and they had to replace the fuel tank because it was leaking rusty, but it also had an evap code at that time, and it was supposedly thought to be related to the fuel tank leak. Let's start this vehicle and see the lights on. No drivability symptoms, just the check engine light on. So I've got the scanner interface connected. We're going to go ahead and ID the vehicle and scan it. Well, my timeline's a little off. It was back in December of 21, just after Christmas, when I changed the fuel tank in this thing because it was rusted and leaking. And it had a P0441, P0456, and P0442. So as far as I know, it was fine up until recently, so something else has likely happened now. We're going to have a look at what codes are in it now. Let's see. Automatic ID. Got the key on, engine not running. Scanner module is connected. The battery is 11.7 volts, which is a little on the low side. Come on, you can do it. I'll get the mileage later. Let's do a network code scan. Key on, engine off, it says. P0455, evap emission leak detected, large leak. P0442, evap emission system leak detected, small leak. So it's got a small, potentially large leak. Low battery voltage in the airbag module. Let's wait for this network scan to complete. Ten controllers. And that looks like the end. There's a system report being generated. Okay, just the evap leaks. So we're going to back out. And I'm going to clear all codes because the codes are recorded on the scanner here. Auto AC. Some of these systems it doesn't have, so that slows down the scan and clear process because it has to wait for the module not to communicate before it goes on. So typically before I touch the fuel cap, if this thing even has one, which I believe it does, I will see if there's any kind of purge and seal test or any kind of test that we can bidirectionally run on the evap system in case it's just a current fuel cap problem. Let's go into engine, into functional tests, engine off tests. Yes, it's key on, engine off. I like to try to command the vent solenoid on and the purge solenoid on to see if I can hear them. Canister purge valve, canister shut off valve leak test. I think that'll be the one. Canister shut off valve toggling. Let's try that one. Should have turned the heater off. It says perform test with key on, engine off only. I did. Continue, it's not doing anything. Oh yeah. Okay. May not be in this data list. Let's see if we can hear it. I'm going to shut the cooling or the heater blower off. Okay, we'll try it again with the heater blower out of this equation. So I can hear the vent solenoid clicking. So at least it's not stuck, but that doesn't mean it's not leaking. Let's try the purge valve. Now that one's under the engine compartment, and it's usually duty cycled, so it usually makes a rapid clicking sound. I don't hear anything. Well, I'm going to find this and see if it's actually responding. So the purge solenoid is right here, and it is clicking repeatedly. So it's not physically stuck, and I don't see any obvious hoses disconnected. So I'm going to see if there's a purge and seal test available. I doubt it. So here we're going into the engine running tests. I don't have it running yet, but I just want to see what's available. Most imports don't allow for it. Variable intake, injector 1, 2, 3, 4, correction O2, CVVT, intake and exhaust. No evap test. I think this one here that I saw closes the vent solenoid for smoke testing. Canister shut off. Leak test. So we're going to hook up a smoke machine to this if it's got a service port under the hood. So I couldn't find an evap service port, so I took the hose off of the outlet of the purge solenoid. So this pipe goes to the tank as far as I can tell. And I've got my cool smoke machine set up here. And if I press leak test, according to the flow rate, there's a leak, but then that vent solenoid is not closed. So I'm going to close it and see if it changes. Okay, so I've got the solenoid energized now, and it's still showing a leak. There's a 40 thou leak, there's a 20 thou leak, 10 thou, and so on, according to the flow gauge. So either the vent solenoid is not sealing, or we've got a line leak somewhere. So I'll put it up on the hoist and put smoke in it and see if we got any kind of smoke coming out anywhere. There's smoke coming out around the canister here. I gotta find out where the vent pipe is. There's the vent solenoid there by the looks of it. It's not leaking from these fittings. Appears to be coming out of the canister itself. Let me zoom back a bit so you guys can see this. Well, the vent pipe is right here. That goes up to the filler neck, and it's not smoking from up there, it's smoking from the canister itself. So if I pinch off this hose, I'm going to try that. So I have the hose from the vent solenoid to the canister itself pinched, and we still got smoke coming out from around this canister. I can't tell where it's coming from though. But definitely, if that leaked, if the vent solenoid leaked, it would be leaking up by the filler neck, because that goes to the filter up there. So it's got to be, this canister's got to be compromised somehow. I got to check for TSVs and case histories. P0456. Guess what? The Kia Rondo was only sold in Canada, and because this information source, Identifix, is US based, There is no information on this vehicle. Isn't that special? No cases, no TSBs, everything's grayed out. Huh. I wonder if there's another model in the US that's similar as the Rondo. I got no service literature on it. So as of 2010, Kia discontinued the Rondo in the United States, and this is a 14. I wonder if it was badged as something else or something similar. Oh well. I'm actually surprised that the Snap-on scan tool acknowledged that a Kia Rondo exists, because often Snap-on doesn't cover Canadian sold vehicles only either. Let's try changing the vehicle and see what other model vehicles that are similar in size might use the same parts. Come on, change. Scanner. I don't want to ID it manually. I want to ID it manually. JK Kia. Manual ID. 2014. Well, the Rondo is here. What's similar? Sorrento is like an SUV. I'm going to look around. Well, I entered it as a 2014 Kia Forte with the same engine, or at least it's a 2-liter. And I did keyword search for P0456, and it comes up with a case and 20 cases of the charcoal canister to fix that. And it says in the step procedure here, smoke the evap system through the canister purge valve hose with the canister closed valve energized or blocked off. And that's what we did. Look for smoke leak. If you can't find a leak using the flow gauge or the smoke, try spraying soapy water around suspect areas of the evap system with the smoke machine pressurizing the evap system. Well, I can see the smoke. So the canister is probably cracked. That's my prognosis anyways. I'm going to look at the availability of it. So I called the local Kia dealership, and imagine this, they have it in stock and it's 85 bucks. So I'm not even going to bother taking this one down until I have a new one, because I think it's cracked. So as far as I can tell, given the cases on it, it's probably the same. And given the fact that they have one in stock, so that tells me they move. Okay, so I got the charcoal canister off. Remove this hose by squeezing down on these 2 plastic tabs and pushing it that way. Remove this pipe by squeezing these 2 square blocks and pulling it off. This is a hose clamp, which I'm going to change. They're pretty rusty. Have a look at what I see here. I've got the charcoal canister off. Oh, there's 2 plastic clips that you have to pry out. They're kind of redundant, I guess, to hold it on until the technician puts the bolts in. You can see the crack in the ear here, and that one there. That steel bolt goes into the plastic, and the salt wicks its way up and causes oxidation, rust, and it cracks the housing. That's just poor design. How could they not realize that that was going to happen? Now, I'm not 100% certain that's where the smoke's coming from, but if that crack goes into there, I guess I could, maybe I'll smoke it with the smoke machine when we get it down. I'll put smoke, block the vent, put smoke in through that pipe there, block these 2 and see if it comes out. So there's the new charcoal canister part number, and interestingly, it doesn't come with the brackets. Now I see that they've got brass inserts in here. I wonder if that one's like that, because if it is, it shouldn't be. Like, the brass won't corrode. It comes with a package of new retaining bolts, but I have to take the brackets off that one. So let's get started. So there's the new charcoal canister installed. I changed these hose clamps here because they were rusty. Dielectric grease on the fittings and connect them back in. So we're going to, as I said, you had to reuse this shield and mounting straps. You just got the canister with the part. So we're going to smoke test it. So now I'm repeating the test, checking it for a leak in the system. I can't remember how much fuel was in the tank. So as the pressure equalizes in the tank, this flow ball will settle down towards the bottom. I have the solenoid, the vent solenoid energized. I think we're going to be good to go. I'm going to check to see how much fuel's in the tank. Theoretically, the less amount of fuel, the longer it's going to take for that, because it's got all. Yeah, it's got just over about 3/8 of a tank. Well, it wasn't holding any kind of pressure before. Now we got focus. Beautiful. All right. So I got the smoke machine hooked up to the old charcoal canister. I'm going to plug this hole and this hole with my fingers and turn the smoke on, and it comes out of the bolt holes. Wow, that's pretty poor quality. Well, I guess we found the problem. We'll call this one fixed. Thanks for watching.